Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. Back when I was in undergrad, a freshman, the first holiday, I had seen a sign on campus of somebody driving up north to Pennsylvania, and they were looking for someone to ride along. I would be responsible for the gas, and they would do the driving, which was a good thing because I still couldn't drive. So, um, we started out on our trip. She was lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in Delaware. Made all the sense in the world. She had an older car, and somewhere around we were in North Carolina, the car started sputtering. So we pulled off the 95 at an exit to try to get the car checked out and see what was going on. It was probably an hour before nighttime, and so it was a good time to stop. And then when we pulled over, the car just stopped and wouldn't start back up. So we were at a hotel that had a gas station next to it. We went inside to the hotel and just said, well, we'll get a room and then try to get the car fixed tomorrow. And we were standing there, and my friend that was driving, we kind of knew each other from a class or two, but we weren't really good friends. Just somebody who needed a passenger and somebody who needed a ride. So she goes over and says she'd like to get a room. And the man behind the desk said, who's the room for? And she said, me and her. And he said, I ain't got it. Who's the room for? And she said, me and her. And he said, I ain't got it. Who's the room for? And she didn't understand what he was saying, and I didn't understand what he was saying. And then finally he says, you and that N word, I ain't got it. So we're like, ooh, wrong place. So we go back to the car, and she's trying to get the car to start. So she goes out, lifts the hood, and she says, you started. So now I'm trying, like, I don't know what I'm doing, but it won't start. So I'm sitting there, and I hear a tap on the window, and I look up, and the man from behind the desk is there with his shotgun tapping on the window, and he says, move this car from in front of my place, and come inside. I'll pay. You can get a room, she can't. So in other words, he could put in the registry that she was getting the room, but she couldn't say that I was going to be staying there. So he gave us a room way in the back, around the back of this motel. There was no heat. There was no hot water. We were so afraid. Um, I remember sleeping in my coat and my shoes. Like, I had the heels of my feet out of my shoes, but my shoes were on my feet in the event that we had to get out right away. So the next morning we got up super, super early and went over to this station, this gas station place, and it was open, and they were able to do something to get her car started. And we were getting out of there. Turned on the radio and found out that there was a Klan rally in that town, and most of the people were staying at that hotel. I'm laughing only because I can't. It wasn't funny. Well, the student who's driving her car, we get to Delaware Turnpike. Once we get to the Delaware Turnpike, if I get off at any of those rest stops, I can call family, friends, and somebody can come and get me. And I'm actually really close to home. But she didn't want to stop her car at all. She was like, I'm not stopping this car. I don't know what's going on. I will take you to the train station. So I'm like, no, no, I'm like close to home here. So we stay on, and to get to her place, we have to get off the 95. We go way away. I know actually the town where she lived, I just don't want to say it. She takes me to this train station and leaves me there, and it is night because it's quite a ways from Delaware, in Wilmington, Delaware. And so now I'm at this train station at night trying to get a train back to Delaware. And I'm the only one on this platform in the middle of the night. And there was a man that came up and kind of said something to me, and he kind of walked off. And I remember just praying that God would keep me safe. And if I got out of this situation, I would never be found in it again. Here's the thing. It was this thing that people talk about over there up close and personal in the late 70s. And then this real personal thing of the person that I'd been riding with up close and personal. Now, I'm sure if she tells this story, it'd be based on she didn't want to stop again. I'm sure she was terribly frightened. She's in the car with this black girl who she didn't know was going to bring her all this trouble, had no idea that that was going to happen. I'm sure that all of that was played in her reason for going on to Pennsylvania. But the fear that I had was greater at that Pennsylvania train station than I had in the town with that Klan rally. Because someone had knowingly left me without any concern for how I would get to where I needed to be or what I needed to do. We are living in a time where we can make a choice, where we can knowingly choose to be on the side of truth, to be on the side of all of us are connected, to be on the side of this is everybody's story, to be on the side of when you do well, I do well. We've had this choice many, many times. We've had this opportunity to do the right thing many, many times. And I think that when you go through something over and over and over again, it is God's grace giving you a chance to get it right. Let's see more clearly this time. Let's get it right. Let's recognize that if you hurt, I hurt. If I hurt, you do. That there is no zero-sum game. If I have all the pie, you get none. There are many, many more pies in the storehouse, and there's more than enough love for all of us. This time, the train is on time. I'm not alone. And there's many people who are going to get on board. I love you.